back to Anime Foodies. My name is Caitlin and I'm the teen adult librarian at McCullough.
I'm Rachel and I am a navigator at Oakland.
And today we are making ramen. So of course you've seen ramen in all kinds of animes, I'm sure. It's very ubiquitous everywhere in Japan. Each region of Japan has their own specialty ramen, like there's shoyu ramen, which is soy sauce, miso ramen, tonkatsu ramen with pork bone broth. And all ramen is just Chinese wheat-style noodles in a broth. So today we're going to make our own spin on it. Here in America, ramen just basically refers to any pre-packaged noodles, instant noodles that you find at the store. And this type of noodle was actually started in 1971 by Nissan, and it was called Oodles of Noodles, and then eventually changed its name to Cup of Noodles. So today we are going to make our own type of ramen. We're going to throw out the seasoning packet and we're going to jazz it up a little bit and just make it a little better. So for our recipe today, we're going to need 3 cups of chicken broth. We're going to need a tablespoon of soy sauce, a teaspoon of sesame sauce, and a half a teaspoon of chili garlic sauce. And you can use any kind that you may have at home. Maybe you've got sriracha or something like that at home. You can use that too, and you can add more if you want it to be spicier. We will also need our aromatics. So those are just herbs and vegetables that you use to, bring flavor and aroma to your dish. So we've got green onions, ginger, and garlic. Just 2 cloves of garlic, 2 stalks of green ginger, or green onion, and then just like an inch or so of the ginger. And you can peel it if you want. You don't have to. It's actually easier to just use a spoon to scrape off the skin rather than use a vegetable peeler, but I just leave it on because it doesn't affect the taste really. Also for our ramen, we're going to add a little protein. So we have 2 soft-boiled eggs here that I have sitting in ice water. I boiled them for 6.5 minutes, and they're just gonna sit in here for a couple minutes until they're ready for us to peel. And we're also gonna add some vegetables. So we've got some green cabbage. We'll use about 2 cups of this. You can use any vegetables that you want though, like julienne carrots, snap peas, mushrooms. You can even add some meat, so some pork or some shredded chicken. All of that would be good. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So if you don't care to add just a little bit of vegetable oil to our pot here, we're gonna start by frying off our aromatics a little bit just to release the flavors. So if you want to go ahead and grate the ginger, you can just grate it directly into the pot. So for our green onions, we're gonna reserve these tops for topping at the end, and then we're gonna be cooking this portion. So just cut off the bottom though. You don't wanna eat that part. And just slice it. Be careful to keep your fingers away from the blade. Remember, bear claw. You want about probably a tablespoon of ginger, so yeah, a little bit more. Yep. And that's all the ginger we're gonna add. All right, so we've got our green onions. We'll add those in there. Turn this on. Just about medium heat will be fine. We just want to fry it for a minute or 2. We don't want to burn it. So while this is going, if you want to go ahead and make our flavoring, we're going to add 1 tablespoon soy sauce, a teaspoon of sesame oil, and half a teaspoon of the chili garlic sauce, and we're going to put that on top and just fry it together for another minute.
Put it directly in the pot.
You put it in the bowl,
Gotcha.
Yeah, and we'll mix it together first. So for garlic, an easy way to cut it, because if you notice it's got this really papery skin, if you smash it with the side of your knife, the skin just easily goes away, just like that. And then we're gonna mince it. So what that means is we're just gonna take it and chop it really, really finely. And just be careful to keep your fingers away. Of course, your fingers might smell like garlic after you chop it. And they say that you can rub your hand on stainless steel and that gets rid of the smell, but I think that's an old wives' tale because I've tried it and it doesn't work for me. So I accept the garlic smell. So you can go ahead and put that in whenever you're ready. Got that's in there. We've got our flavoring in there. Just want to stir it around a little bit. And then for our cabbage, we're just going to cut it into long, thin strips. So I've got one wedge here, and I'm just going to cut it just like this. We're going to add our cabbage in there just so that it wilts in the oil with everything else for just another 30 so seconds. And you can chop it a lot better than I did at home. I didn't bring my knife from home. I have to use the breakroom knife and it's not very good. So hopefully your knife is a little sharper. We're going to let that go for just a few more seconds. And it's going to cook pretty quickly, so make sure that you've got everything chopped and ready to go before you even start. That'll definitely help. All right, that looks pretty good. Go ahead and add the chicken broth. So remember, 3 cups of chicken broth, or you can use veggie broth too. Whatever you have at home will work. And then we're going to bring this up to a boil before we add our noodles. So I'll go ahead and put the lid on it, turn the heat up just a little bit. And then while that's waiting to boil, we'll go ahead and peel our eggs. I'll give you one. And then we're going to set those aside. Set them on our cutting board over here. So since these are soft boiled, the yolk's going to be a little runny. If you're not a fan of runny yolk, you can always boil it a little longer. We did 6.5 minutes, so you could do like 10 minutes, and that should make it more hard boiled. And at the end of the egg, at the, I guess the thicker part of the egg, there's like a little air pocket in it, and that makes peeling it a lot easier. You can see it kind of dips in right there. Then this recipe makes probably enough for 2 good servings. But if you wanted to, make more for your whole family, if you've got more family members, you could add extra eggs, add another pack of noodles. Just make sure that you double the broth as well. And we're just going to set our eggs aside while we wait for our water to boil. All right, now our water is boiling, so we're going to cook the noodles for 3 minutes. So just take your brick, plop it in there, try and get it under the liquid, and then we'll wait for 3 minutes. All right. Now we've got our ramen plated up. We'll add the green onion tops that we reserved earlier and just sprinkle them on there. And I also put just a little bit of extra chili sauce on there because I like my ramen spicy. And then for our last thing, we're going to add our soft-boiled eggs. So you can slice it in half and just lay it right on top. Now the yolk might come out just a little bit. Go ahead and take it there and just lay them on there right on top. All right, and they are ready. And that's all there is to it. And remember, you can add whatever you want in there, any kind of vegetables that you want, some rotisserie chicken that's been shredded. It is all good. And that's all we've got for you today. Stick around after to hear Rachel's manga recommendations, and we hope you enjoy this recipe. Spicy. It's good.
Hi again, I hope you guys are enjoying your almost homemade ramen. Here are a couple of the manga titles I've been enjoying this month. First, we have Mao by Rumiko Takahashi, who is also the author of Inuyasha. This story follows Nanako, who barely survived a fatal car crash 8 years ago and is now just kind of going through her normal life when she accidentally steps through a gate back in time where she meets Mao the exorcist and follows along with him as he fights spirits and looks for the spirit that actually cursed him, who it seems may have something to do with the car crash from her past. So they work together to try to solve that mystery. We also have The Promised Neverland by Kaisharai. This follows the children of Grace Field House, which is an orphanage for children 1 to 12 years old. At 12 years old, they all find a foster home and move on if they haven't already. When 6-year-old Connie is sent to a foster home, some of the other children find out that their idyllic childhood is not at all what it seems, and now they must fight to survive while knowing the truth and hopefully can rescue their other siblings.